Hello friend, I want to tell you about the Volkswagen Tiguan car. The Volkswagen Tiguan is a compact crossover that is a real hit on the secondary market. Not only is it, like most cars of this brand, way too expensive, but it is also losing value very slowly. The Volkswagen Tiguan is a relatively modern car. Models from later years were equipped with many amenities that are only now appearing in Korean crossovers. Adaptive dampers are an interesting option, although they may not be an advantage in a used car. There is also the DSG dual-clutch automatic, another gimmick that is best avoided. There is no need to be afraid of the durable and well-functioning older generation Haldex clutch, which performs well off-road and on-road, just like the car it was installed in. If you expect very good traction, you need to look for the track and field version with an ESP system calibrated for off-road driving, the so-called off-road mode, and a slightly differently shaped front bumper and underbody protection. Engines. Of course, the most interesting engines are the 2.0 TDI. The Tiguan was powered exclusively by versions with common rail injection. A year after the premiere, a 170 horsepower version appeared with a torque of 350 Nm. The weakest engine, the 2.0 TDI-CR, generates 110 HP and 280 Nm, while the 140 horsepower, very popular engine is slightly more powerful. Offer: it already has 320 Nm of torque and is the ideal power source for this car. In addition to diesels, there are also petrols, but we generally do not recommend them. These are the 1.4 TSI and 2.0 TSI units, the worst engines in their class. The first, with timing drive defects, and the particularly problematic twin-charger version with 150 and 160 HP. The second, larger and more powerful 2.0 TSI, generating from 170 to 211 hydrogen phosphide, have the disadvantage of excessive oil consumption, although those with a power of over 200 HP perform quite well. If we are to recommend petrol engines, then only the new generation, i.e. 1.4 TSI on a timing belt and 2.0 TSI from 2012. The secondary market has perfectly verified which engine is best suited for the Tiguan. Only 30% of offers are petrol versions. If we are to recommend it, it is only the 2.0 TDI version, and that is what we will look at. Volkswagen Tiguan 2.0 TDI failure rate. It's hard to write anything bad about this engine. The common rail injection unit also has its faults, but not the one installed in the Tiguan. I'm talking about a faulty oil pump drive, which you'll find in some Audi cars. Users may be bothered by the DPF filter and EGR valve. There are two ways to do this: replace or remove the damaged component. Physically, you can eliminate the DPF filter. Although it is illegal, it often happens. Fortunately, DPF problems do not affect all Tiguans. They have only met the Euro 5 standard since 2009, and before that, weaker engines were used without a filter. Only the 170 horsepower version has had it from the start. You should be careful with the timing belt. It is not defective, but the manufacturer has decided that it should be replaced every 200,000 kilometers. Of course, it is not surprising if the belt breaks earlier. We suggest replacing the timing drive assembly every 100 to 150,000 kilometers. The injection system is very durable. Its wear may occur after a mileage of 250 to 300,000 kilometers. The dual-mass flywheel doesn't fail too often, and manual gearboxes are durable. But watch out for the dual-clutch DSG. After about 200–250,000 kilometers, they may need more serious repairs or clutch replacement. In any case, servicing this gearbox will be expensive. If you buy a car with this gearbox, make sure to change the oil regularly. The turbocharger is a durable element. It only wears out due to neglect or simple wear and tear. The manufacturer recommends changing the engine oil every 25,000 kilometers or once a year. but we advise doing it every 15,000 kilometers and always choosing oil that meets the Volkswagen 507.00 standard or higher. The Tiguan is generally a very reliable car, one of the better Volkswagens of that period. If you take into account only the diesel versions, also one of the better in its class. It is difficult to even clearly define the typical faults of this car. The suspension is very durable and also quite cheap to service. In the chassis, the Haldex clutch that implements the 4-motion drive requires attention. It is difficult to damage it, but it is easy to destroy it through neglect. The oil must be changed every 60,000 kilometers, but it is worth shortening the replacement period to 40,000 kilometers. In addition, when buying a used Tiguan from the first years, we advise you to take a closer look at the floor itself, which may show signs of corrosion, and the rear springs, which break quite easily when overloaded. The car's equipment usually works well, but the interior of more worn-out models may show clear signs of wear. Sometimes the onboard computer does not work, something malfunctions in the radio player, and in other cases the central locking will refuse to obey. However, these are sporadic situations and not necessarily typical for this model. The cost of maintaining this car largely depends on the condition of the engine. A good diesel burns about 6.5 to 7.5 L, 100 kilometers and does not require much except for servicing. The Tiguan practically does not break down, and the prices of parts are low due to the popularity of the model and their interchangeability with others. The engine equipment is quite expensive, as is the case with any diesel, although the user of this car should not complain. After buying a Tiguan, we recommend a proper service. Changing fluids and oils is essential. Remember about the gearbox, also manual, and the Haldex clutch. It is also worth paying attention to the timing drive. In cars with 4x4 drive, be sure to fit the same tires on all 4 wheels. In a way, it's worth it, although you'll pay quite a lot for the car. The Volkswagen Tiguan is highly valued because it's a refined, really interesting model that can be easily and quickly resold, even with a minimal profit. For much less money you can buy something Japanese, Korean or even Renault Koleos, bigger and not worse. Check the market well before you overpay. Nevertheless, Tiguan is worth its price. It is one of the best Volkswagens of recent years. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.
I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro.